Morning, guys. I'm at a spot. I came in the other night and tried to hunt, but I couldn't get to the spot I wanted to get to hunt, so I backed out and hunted another spot and didn't really see much. But what I'm doing is I have 8 different spots. There's 8 different bedding areas in this area that I know that different bucks use. I know of one big one in here that survived from last year, and I know there's 3 bedding areas that he uses, and this is a marsh, and it's totally wind-based bedding, wind and scent, but mostly wind because they rely on their hearing in the marsh and swamps. But I need access to this one point, so we're going to go find that. Actually, I want to find access to the 2 points I want to really hunt because they're really out of the way. They're really hard access, and I need to find access to these points to get at an opportunity to get as close as I can to these buck bed areas, because both buck areas they're bedding at is I can't remember what video is on there, but there's one giant bed, and then there's 4 or 5 beds in the one spot, and then on the other point there's probably 15 or 20 beds on it. So that's the spots we want to look. Real small areas in the marsh, off the points, and right on the tip of the points, because a lot of it, this marsh bedding, like I said, is wind-based and wind-based and mostly noise-based. From what I've been told and learning, most of it is ears. They're listening. You can't get to these deer without making sound. So you need to be within 100 yards of these beds. But I gotta sneak into this place, these 2 points I want to hunt, and I'm probably not gonna come back here for at least 3 weeks, but find access to these points, and that's what I'm doing today. Just an early scouting session, in-season scouting session. So sometimes you got to do this because I was not able to. I found these bedding areas on the other side. I came in from another side, but I want to come in from this side and hunt them. So I need to find access, and I wasn't able to really get into this side last year. I scouted the other side and found these beds. The other side of the marsh, which they go that way too. They'll go either way. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm getting close to that meadow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go real easy and sneak up to as far as I can and just dip in and see where I can access that point from, because there's a wall of cattails along the edge, or phragmites, excuse me, the wall of phragmites along the edge of this, and the phragmites come into the woods, like way into the woods, 60, 75 yards, 80 yards into the woods almost. And excuse me, the mosquitoes are crazy. And what we gotta do is, this is why I didn't have time to scout this part of this piece. I scouted this piece earlier in the season, and a matter of fact, the video that shows where I found a dead buck is the beds I scouted here. If you look back in the videos I placed on my YouTube channel and watch the one where I found a dead buck, an unfortunate find, that's the video that I scouted the first piece of this, the first grid of this. I broke it up in grids, and I was not able to scout this side of what I wanted to get scouted for access. And I have a spot on the other side where I scouted, tree picked out, but I did not have this picked out. I just did not have time. I just went not scouting everywhere, and I just didn't have time. So we're at a point now where I'm almost sneaking back in here. I don't want any kind of noise, any kind of thing. It's almost like we're going to hunt this spot, but I'm going to dip in and dip out. So this is how we figure out our access routes when we're in season, and maybe we'll find a couple rubs. We'll dip in and dip out, and if there's rubs present, that means they're using that point for bedding. If there's not, they could be not, because I really don't think they're hitting many trees right this yet. It's only September 19th, so here and there they are, but I've heard of them, read on the forums that they are a little bit, but it's a little early yet. Another week or so they should start hitting these rubs and rubbing these bedding areas. So, alright, we're about 100 yards from the edge of the Phragmites in the marsh, and just like I said, and I knew, you're gonna start getting rubs. This is where we're gonna start rubbing, making a few scrapes, but they're not rubbing yet. But I got a couple pretty good spider web in the lens. Couple pretty good, nice rubs. One's about knee high, but the one I'll show you over here is gonna be nice. I'll show you this small one first, but it was like I said earlier, you get near this bedding, you're gonna start getting rubs. You're gonna start getting a little bit of scrapes, and we gotta find them trails going out to that bedding so we can set up accordingly. So here's a couple little scrapes I found, or a couple little rubs I found, which I know there's a point here, which I will be hunting one day this year, probably a couple times. And I know they use this stink bug. I know they use this point as bedding, so here's a couple rubs. They're old, from last year, but they're here. And there's a dandy there. That's a nice rub there. That's about, that rub's here about waist high. And it's a dandy. It's a real little tip coming off that point. Coming off that point, coming along this transition off the marsh. The marsh is probably 100 yards from here, maybe not even. Here's a little blow down, and there's tracks all around it. This is a water source, and a lot of this water around here is brackish. It's salt, it's very brackish, and this is within 100 yards of bedding, and this will be red hot until it dries up. This could be a real good spot. Sitting right here early season. There's tracks coming right to it, and you can tell that they're drinking out of it. So just a little heads up on these little guys. Walk right by this kind of stuff. So keep your eye out for these little water holes, really close to bedding. Down the meadow, that's a single tree out there. There's bed under there. Big bed. And this trail I'm on comes right to it. And I'll show you. It's a monster trail. And hold on a minute. Excuse the camera. I'm trying to be quiet while I'm doing this. It's a monster trail. It's that tree right here. That's not in front of me. That's way out in the meadow. And that's where a bed is. This one right here. That's not along the edge. That's out in the meadow in the middle of the cattails. And there's a buck bed, a big buck bed under that. So this is the entry I've been trying to find. And I got it. So I'm getting out of here now. But here's the trail going to it. Going right out to the Phragmites, right to that bed. I didn't want to, but I bumped a deer. I think it waited till I was being quiet, and now it moved on. I knew I shouldn't have came in this deep, but I thought I had to. So I just heard him jump up, and I heard him go through them cattails. But that's okay, I could still hear him. So I know he's here on a northwest wind, and that buck said, he was under that tree out there I just showed you. So, our thing is, guys, that deer was bedded out on that, under that tree, or one of them trees, which are real close to each other, and it's on the side of a big gut, like a big creek, like one of the guts out in the marsh. So there's two trees that sit against the edge of that. So that's even better. It gives him even better bedding with the phragmites all around him. The tree is back, and the water, the big wide creek behind him. So that's why that deer is there. And I'm almost positive it's probably an older buck. Just by the features of where that bed's at. I'm not saying it could be a spike in there, but most likely it's probably a decent buck, 3 years old or older. That's good bedding. That's probably one of the best bedding areas in this entire piece. So, you know, I'm sure that's not I'm sure there's more than one nice one. I know there's more than one nice one in here, but that's a good bed right there. Very safe, very secure. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Sometimes you bump them, sometimes you don't. Well, I got to them 2 points. I spooked deer off both of them points. I wasn't even satellite deer going into the points. So there's deer on using them points, and hopefully on the point, very tip point where the trees that are off the tip is what we want laying there. So that first tip I heard a deer come off of, that most likely was a buck, and it was a single deer. And them deer, it's funny because in marshes they use their ears so much, and once they hear you, they'll start checking the wind. And I know that deer back there heard me coming through a little bit, because I wasn't as quiet and stealthy as I was. I am when I'm hunting, but I probably pushed in a little too much. But that deer heard me coming, and what he did, that noise, he knew something was wrong, but he sat tight. And then the wind switched on me and hit the back of my neck, went to him, and that confirmed to him, time to go. Got danger coming. He smelled me. So you can get away with a little bit of hearing on your way to these more spots that are more hearing based for the deer, for the bucks. But I'll tell you right now, if they hear you, they might sit tight and forget about you. But if they hear you and then they smell you, you're done, dude. Go back to the truck, put your stand away, and go home. Or go to another spot if you got time. So remember that, guys. Well, guys, that's it. I'm heading out, man. I got some stuff to do today. I'm going to hold off probably till the end of the week to hunt. Let this weather calm down a little bit. Just so stale and stagnant. Got some other stuff to do and get done before I really my serious sits or start. So I'm kind of waiting for these rubs to open up too, and these scrapes. But it should start rubbing and doing a little pawing here soon. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And as usual, subscribe and like to the buck's sake. See ya.